Okay. Attaboy, Tommy. It is April 7th, 8th, 9th. April 9th. This is the rundown. It's brought to you by SeatGeek. You get $10 off your first purchase. Use the code rundown. Again, SeatGeek, $10 off your first purchase. Let's see if Paul can talk louder than us. Paul, maybe talk louder than us so nobody can hear anything.
Perfect.
See if you can take it up like 10 decibels. Again, use the code rundown. $10 off your first purchase. Masters, Riggs wearing. Now, first of all, I have a lot of comments on everyone's attire.
Okay.
The hat, I like, but I always think it's interesting you went totally non-Masters colors. Is that a thought when
Well,
you
I got multiple hats.
Okay.
So I thought I could veer on one, but that's true. You're supposed to get like a green something.
I mean, they sell those. Second, how long have you had that sweatshirt? Because unfortunately, I just got like the same exact thing, except it's like.
Thanks for you.
Yeah. How long have you had that?
3 weeks?
Is that the first time you've worn it?
Second.
I wish I saw it the first time. Would have changed
That's
a lot of things.
a lot of things.
Masters.
That hurts.
We'll start. We already talked about it. Tiger Woods, a massive disappointment. Frankie Borelli was in here talking about how now he's getting the charity case clap coming down the 18th. People are just happy to see him. He was built up. I don't know if you saw my tweet when he birdied on like the 15th.
Eagle.
No, it was before 14th and 15th he eagled.
Eagle 15. I know.
But I said Tiger is charging. He's only he's 17 back with 5 to go.
Yeah,
So
good one.
Yeah, it was good.
Golf clap for that.
Way to quote your tweet.
This was ridiculous. This is like what Mets fans would do, being like, "We're gonna win the World Series," and you fucking stink.
It was actually a worst case scenario because missing the cut would have been so funny, but he was just there.
Missing the cut would have been better, because then he's like, oh, he's gone for the weekend, we didn't have to talk. But when he finishes at like fucking noon, his round's over at noon, then you guys are chirping. Then they do, like Frankie was saying, like the ceremonial, like, it's like he's one of the retired guys who play in his last round when they show him, like, oh, here's Tiger Woods putting out for double.
Yeah, he might die tomorrow. Who knows?
It's a bad look. We jump the gun. Like, we get a little too hyped up.
They jumped the gun, dude.
We get a little
if
too
Tiger
hyped up.
fans had just been like normal about this, it would have been a good thing. Like, oh, well, he needs more time. But you guys were all like, he's gonna win the Masters. It was so ridiculous.
Look, Kevin, you know the worst part is that a part of me thought he was gonna win.
I know that you guys actually believe it.
I genuinely was like, this is different. He's gonna win. And this is still, we're on a great trajectory. He's looking good.
Well, no, that's a major setback. You can't still say you're on a great trajectory. I mean, he was around top 10, top 20. He was a non-factor from the second the gates opened.
I think it's a bit of a step back from like the fact that he was finishing top 5 in tour events a couple weeks ago, and then he still finished 32nd or something, which is not good, but it's also not like horrific.
So it's a setback
to.
They were finishing top 5, then you finish top 30. It's a setback.
It's a setback, but it's also, when you look at the broader scope, the fact that 6 months ago he couldn't even fucking walk, he had the DUI thing and all that. It's like now he played.
That's the bar. The bar is very low.
What do you think of Nike telling Patrick Reed he can't? And by the way, I love people being like, no, this is a Nike thing. It had nothing to do with Patrick Reed. The only reason they did that is because they didn't want Patrick Reed wearing the red and black on Sunday. The guy wins it. He's wearing pink. He looks like it's Ladies' Day at the Kentucky Derby. What did you think of that?
I was surprised that Patrick Reed gave into that, because he's kind of like a bulldog, like fucking. He's a loner.
Because I noticed,
and he's done it, right? He's always done it. I mean, because of Tiger, but
he's been wearing like the red and black.
I noticed Tiger was wearing red.
Tiger was the only. He does do the red on Sundays. I was surprised by that. It's like such a weird, stupid storyline for them, because they know people are going to pick up that storyline, and it just makes their whole like dichotomy look weird. Like Nike's telling this guy that you can't do that.
Well known like early on, right?
Yeah.
So like they couldn't even been like, all right, this guy's gonna win the fuck.
Because I Googled just for the picture, and I didn't even know this is a thing, and I saw the article, and I'm like, oh my God, Tiger said he couldn't do it, and then he wins the whole fight.
No, I think it's because I think on Saturday night you tell him like, go ahead, bro, wherever the fuck you want. You're gonna be winning the Masters tomorrow.
It became a thing like when Reed like vaulted up the leaderboard like Friday. It started to be like, oh wait, we're gonna have a weird thing.
But it became a thing. They issued this because there's a thing like last week or 2 weeks before when he was wearing it with Tiger, and it was like, take it off.
So the weird part is that like when Tiger was fucking dead and couldn't walk and his back was all fucked up, they're like, yeah, whatever, like wear your red and black stuff. But then when the two of them, it was at the Valspar where it was like they finished back to back like the last two groups, and it was like they're both wearing the red. People were like, who the fuck is this Reed guy? What's he doing? Well, now he wins the Masters, and Nike was like,
this all comes down to one thing with Patrick Reed, is that he's kind of fat. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like he's getting discriminated against.
He
because
also-
he's fat.
he
You
doesn't
can't wear
look like a
this. We're
Nike
not
guy.
rooting for you.
He doesn't look like a
Yeah,
Nike guy.
I mean, the joke was Trent saying like what I think I look like versus what I actually look like.
But-
except he's winning fucking the Masters.
And to be honest, Tiger is such an egotistical guy, but I mean, and maybe doesn't want. I think it's a good look for Tiger to have like, all right, you can't play anymore, Tiger. You're done. You're never going to win another major. At least your reign, like people appreciate your legacy. The next maybe superstar, he grew his game on you, and he sounds like he was every bit the deviant that you were, and he's wearing the red and black. To me, it's a great story, full circle.
I don't know. I don't think like if another guy comes out like during like Wayne Gretzky's final season wearing like 99.
But that happened all the time, guys. Every guy,
like,
I'm sure
kind
guys.
of like a
no, guys definitely wore 99 when he was in the league.
I mean,
and it's
23 is
clearly
all
a
over the
tribute.
place in the NBA.
Yeah, true.
But when guy like but I feel like 99 was like
Yeah,
nobody
but
wore fucking 99.
yeah, but 99.
Like, nobody.
But 99 is a great, like a tribute to Gretzky. I don't think Gretzky would ever like take it off. Tiger apparently
If
did.
anything, I mean, I guess maybe this was a Nike thing, but don't you think this is an opportunity for Tiger to like tell him, like, dude, wear whatever you want, go for it.
They're boys
I thought that
too.
would have
Like
been a
if
huge PR move if he was like, I want another American guy who's coming down the stretch to win the Masters wearing the red and black for Nike. Go do it.
and
surprised
he
if
was
Tiger
very
cares.
clear that
I'd be
it's a tribute to Tiger.
Right.
Right, I'd be surprised if Tiger cares, and if Nike wasn't more protective of it, being like, no, that's like Nike. We don't want you to like upset Tiger at all.
Oh,
which
yeah,
looks
how
like
naive are you, Riggs? You don't think Tiger directed
No, because
this
I
whole
know
thing?
because Reed and Tiger, like in the Ryder Cup, Tiger runs their little pod. That's like Spieth and Reed and those guys.
So
and
Nike
he's, like,
did
tight
it.
with them.
Nike did it without say Nike did this. We're going to protect your colored Tigers without telling Tiger. I find that hard to believe.
I don't think Tiger would be like, don't let that guy wear red. I don't think he would ever do that. I
don't
think
think
he's
he
like,
knows
I don't
You
give
also
a
thought
fuck.
Tiger was going to win the Masters.
And I just
These
don't
are
think
very
he knows
different
that.
things.
Last
Wearing
thing,
red and just winning the Masters.
Last thing on the Masters. So Patrick Reed not well liked. Apparently, his backstory is well known. He has a problem with his family. His girlfriend, ex-caddy, wife maybe looked like she was pregnant, is now saying he was abused as a child growing up by them. That's the dispute. He's also very like the Ryder Cup when he was going back and forth with Rory.
Yeah.
Rory was chirping him before the Masters, being like, "Well, he's never won. I'm going for the Grand Slam." I like Patrick Reed. It's not like this guy seems like he got some balls.
I agree. He's definitely the Ian Poulter like of America in the golf world, which is that like I don't think I would ever want to hang out or like get a beer with Patrick Reed, like, but like I'd root for that fucking guy. It's like that's our USA guy. He's telling everybody to shush. He plays practice rounds by himself. He's like kind of a loner, like stands on the range by himself. And it's like, do I love the guy? No, but like when he fucking wins and he's kind of like an asshole about it. Like 4 years ago, he said he's top 5 player in the world when he was like the 80th ranked player in the world. Guys are like, what are you talking about, dude? Then he wins the Masters and he like single-handedly wins Ryder Cups. This is a conversation
Ryder
we've
Cup.
had, which is like it's tough because he's very unlikable, but he's also like that's our guy. That's like our
When you're
unlikable
rooting
American
for him alone, I think it's weird. But in the Ryder Cup situation where it's like you're rooting for the villain that you know pisses everybody else off, but he's going to win it for America,
And this was the
I think it's a
first
very
time
likable thing.
on this type of stage where you like dragged him out of the Ryder Cup style and was like, do we really like this guy? Because we like him when
Now
he's in
you're
red,
rooting
white, and
for
blue.
him, yeah.
But it's like him against like these other guys. What do you want? And it's like it just becomes tricky.
Yeah,
Where
but
everybody
rooting
was
for him down the
rooting
stretch?
for. No, because now if it had gotten into like a playoff, I wouldn't have cared. But like I just want to see like some awesome dramatics. That's it. But you wanted to come back to the field, get into a playoff, like have a
Who are you
big
pulling
putt
for?
somebody's going to make on 18. I was pulling for Ricky or Spieth down the stretch.
And my thing with back to the rooting, I am rooting for him, and whether he's a prick or not, and saying he's the best. Like he's the anti-Justin Thomas who pretends to be nice, and then when you catch him on a hot mic, he's an asshole. This guy's just an asshole being an asshole, and he's fucking kicking everybody's ass right now. So I'm down.
Which
with
I
that.
respect to a certain level. Right. Like, do you? He does his own thing. And even Daniel Berger, who's another President's Cup guy, in that same article that came out on golf.com that was talking about the backstory in his fucked up family, there was a quote from him being like, look, he's always been a nice guy to me, and like I just think he's quiet and sticks to himself, and people perceive that as a negative when in reality he's just doing his own fucking thing.
What did he steal from his college roommates?
There's like all kinds of rumors
Like-
about the fact that he like cheated, the
Rico
fact that he like
Bosco, we'll get
stole
into
Rico
Okay.
Bosco gets a hold of this.
Was it
This
like
stole a
a
putter, he, like,
golf club
stole
or something, or
something?
was it like a fucking something that really matters?
No, there were like little tales of theft like in the locker room from his teammates.
like
stuff.
that, too.
I mean, they won 2 national championships, and his teammates
Hated him.
were estranged from him and hated him.
Yikes!
But
That
he's
is
up there.
a
So it's
who's the guy? Doug Gottlieb situation. Rico Bosco. That's how you end up in his
Yeah,
crosshairs.
and he was originally at Georgia and then like left there because like nobody liked him. Went to Augusta State, nobody liked him there, but they won 2 national championships. So it's like this weird That's our guy. He wins matches, but
This guy's a fat asshole. That's what it comes down to.
And then the last thing, obviously, was Nick Faldo with the Imagine Dragons drop at the end. That went viral quickly.
As the Imagine Dragons would say, welcome to the new age, to the new age.
I think he's just lost his mind.
Not many people. I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was as big a deal. I mean, the Imagine Dragons are big. Like, it is a fair quote. Like, what? You can't, they're not picking up, like, it's an automatic ridicule if you quote the Imagine Dragons?
They're not like, like it's not like Nickelback or something. They're a
No,
joke.
no,
you know
right.
I mean?
Imagine Dragons
they're
is
a popular group. They're winning like Grammys and shit right now.
Nobody's like, oh, you like Imagine Dragons? Like, I don't think anyone saw that coming, but it's definitely not a Nickelback situation.
It's just not golf music, but I don't.
You're right.
But it kind of went viral as if it was like you're a loser if you listen to this.
Yeah, it was Nickelback. People were acting like people. If I was the Imagine Dragons, I'd be like,
fuck
"What
you
the
guys."
fuck?"
Yeah.
Like
They were.
Yeah, that was like a big setback
pretty hard
for
here.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, I agree. Which it's like, I don't know if he was like quoting their lyrics and shit at the end of like the Houston Open, that'd be one thing. But when it's like the Masters, they're like panning over the 18th green in the scoreboard. And Nick Faldo's like weirdly quoting like Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, it just
lyrics.
doesn't fit.
It was like, what is going on right now? Like it's supposed to be some epic Jim Nance call, and it's fucking Imagine Dragons.
Have they said anything? Did they tweet or any response? Imagine Dragons?
I don't know. I feel like
No research on that. Next up, are the Yankees done? So it may be premature to go into this, but the Yankees are historically bad right now. Their best player or their big acquisition, Giancarlo Stanton. What is the home run call? What's the home run call for the Yankees?
Something see Porlo, beautiful Giancarlo, something like that. It's in Italian from.
Thank you, Tommy.
beautiful time.
So
The
he
guy
has
who's just clearly not Italian.
struck out now twice. He's had 2 5 strikeout games. He hit into a double play with the bases loaded, nobody out, down a run in extra innings. In a game that may be too early to say, but I think the Yankees needed to have. And the 2 5 strikeout games, to put this in perspective, like it's never been done in the live ball era, like since 1920. He's done it in like a week and a half of the season.
He's done. That guy's done.
If
you don't think that Derek Jeter won that trade at this point,
and I said it when it happened. It's like guys like that, and it's not to this extreme where Giancarlo went from one of the best players in the game to maybe the worst player who's ever laced him up. Live ball era, Tommy. Live ball era. Like Pujols when he went from the Cardinals to the Angels, just different player. Never even remotely the same. I've never seen this.
Listen, Dave, New York is different. You leave Miami,
I don't disagree. That's why I said it.
Yelich and them came through here. They were like, nobody cares down in Miami. It's very
Nobody cares about anything.
It's just good or bad. It's just like blah.
Yeah.
You come to New York, you have 1 5 strikeout game. All of a sudden, you have 2 5 strikeout games. New York is in this guy's head.
And I mean, the whole team. For people are handing them the pennant. Tommy, we got Tommy
5
and
and
Jared.
5.
We got Tommy. You're a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
Is it? I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Is it over?
I mean, they're 5 and 5. No.
Yeah. 5 strikeouts.
But the Red
twice.
Sox haven't like lost.
Also, Judge stinks.
Right. I
Also,
don't
you
like
didn't
how good
sign
the Red Sox
Ohtani.
and Mets are.
That's
tough.
gotta hurt. Ohtani.
Yeah, it does.
Jared, who I know, our resident baseball guy, you said you didn't want to talk about the Yankees and Giancarlo. I don't think anybody expected 2 historically
Dave.
bad
I don't think we even have to
Dave.
talk about it anymore because they're dead.
I didn't want to do this, okay? I didn't ask for this, but as the national baseball guy, when Giancarlo Stanton makes national headlines for how bad he is,
Twice.
my hand
Twice,
is
Jared.
forced. Twice. He's never had a 5 strikeout game in his entire career. He's got 2 this year, and no one in the live ball era has struck out 5 times, gone hitless, ever. And that's since 1920, and he's accomplished this by April 8th, 9th?
It literally is.
It's unfathomable, Dave. And honestly, I sat there all day yesterday, just blogging away on a Sunday, waiting for a Yankee blogger to address this story. No one did. So I woke up early this morning and I started blogging this story that my hands were tied. I was like, as the national baseball guy, I have to take on this story. So I did, and I tried to do it to
Jared,
the best of my
thank you.
ability.
Thank you for
Don't
your
know.
service.
I'm just doing my job.
And it
Just
is
doing my
fair.
job.
Like Yankee, we got a lot of Yankee fans in here, and they try to act like they're being like persecuted and whatnot. But
just
that
stink.
stat of Giancarlo Stanton.
Was it the live ball era?
Live ball
I think it was
era.
the live ball era.
1920, yeah. Like the Titanic
a
was still a
long
touchy
time.
And he's
subject.
done it in
long
2
era.
weeks.
That's a long
He's done
time.
it in 2 weeks. He did something that a player hasn't done in 100 years. He did it in 2 weeks.
He just
crazy.
said it was a bad week. I think it's.
Did you
Yeah,
also
a
see
little more than a bad
Dave,
week.
Dave, just to further on my journalistic report, In the past week, Giancarlo Stanton has struck out more times than Joe DiMaggio did in the entire 1941 season. Yeah.
I mean, that's bad.
It's not good.
That is unbelievable.
I hate to see stuff like that because
You hate to see it.
I was just I'm rooting for him.
It's a shame because
I
you know
hate
I thought people thought there was going to be the rivalry was back.
I was
Cubs was all
so
like,
excited.
oh, we hate each other again. We're just going to go like a big pennant race, and it's like, but you're striking out 5 times every other game.
And the only time he didn't strike out was when the bases were loaded with nobody out in a down 1 run
bat,
in a must-need game for the Yankees.
I mean, must win.
And he bounces into a home to third double play.
What makes it even worse is that the Yankees had a 5-0 lead in the first inning of that game, and then their bullpen that I was told was the greatest is give up their 6th home run, which leads the majors. No other team has given up 6 home runs, so
Wow.
you hate to see that.
You do. It's a shame.
So I think the consensus
Everybody,
the
the Yankees
are
were
done.
back. The Yankees are back, and now they're
Your
done.
Mets,
They're
your
dead
Mets
right.
never lose.
I mean, the Mets are going to be better than the Yankees. It's just how it's going to be.
I mean,
Red Sox
there's a
never
new
lose.
king in New York, and it's definitely the Mets.
Red Sox were down 7-2, bottom of the 8th. They never lose. So interesting start to the baseball season all the way around. I don't think a lot of people saw the Yankees being done before we even hit May.
Do you think that Tommy just shuts down his podcast now? Tommy, do
Yeah,
you
what
think
do
you,
you do on your-
even do the short porch anymore, or is it just like, well, this is stupid? This team
I think we'll
stinks.
keep it going. Maybe another week.
Just talk about how bad it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
one more week. We'll see.
Tune into the
Side
short porch
note-
for how bad the Yankees are.
Speaking of other New York teams, how's Fordham baseball? I needed Tommy bad. I'm like, Tommy, can you come over? He's like, I got a Fordham baseball game. Give me more notice.
Look, you got to give me more notice than an hour. You text me 11:30 Saturday morning. We're like, what are you doing today? I had a game at 2.
Maybe a fair gripe.
They won Saturday, lost Friday. I had a Vin Scully at Saturday till the 6th inning. Produced myself, nobody else on air. It was tough.
Look at you.
I couldn't have backed out. We would have had no broadcast.
That's so sincere.
BetDSI, check out betdsi.eu for their postseason offer. Use their promo code RUN25 for a free $25 play, plus a $100 matching bonus on your first deposit. betdsi.edu. So we had this whole thing on Friday with the Green Monster, Megan Greenwell, Megan Greenwell, attacking Erica, who did a favor for Deadspin and their parent company Univision, going on a show. She ripped her. It was ridiculous.
What a dumb move.
So
It's
dumb.
So dumb.
Dumb.
I don't mind a hit piece. I don't mind
No.
people getting in the mud, but like you got to do it at the right time, right place, and that was not it.
No, and useless in your own company, whatever. So, but today, in classic Barstool fashion, whenever somebody attacks us, Univision announced that, or there's an article that came out, that the CEO of Gizmodo, which is basically CEO of Deadspin, it runs all the companies that
whole, like, umbrella.
formed after they went bankrupt.
Yeah.
So Gizmodo, Deadspin. The CEO is being forced out, being fired, and they're going to lay off like everybody at Deadspin, basically. Huge win, I think, again for us. And on a side note, I wrote a blog. I had a PS.
Shout out to New York Dave.
New York Dave, yeah, because it was her, Megan Greenwell's, Abby is her and her dog. So I thought it was funny, like, just to clarify, Tommy's already laughing, like, Megan's the one on the right. Now, that's a mean comment about her looks that old Dave would have done hands down. This time I didn't.
But he didn't.
But I will say, I think you should be allowed to. And I was saying this earlier. If you pick a fight with somebody and you're ugly, then you got to expect to be
not
called
only
ugly.
that, I mean, she picked a fight. Like she was getting down and dirty with Erica, taking
Yeah.
shots too. Like it's fair game.
It
Everything's
is.
fair game.
It's sad that in this
you
PC
either
world
have
you
to
can't
be-
do that.
You either have to be not ugly, or like
Don't
you got to
attack.
change your avatar,
Or
don't attack. But like,
or
you can't,
lead.
You can't put that on a platter for Dave.
Or
He's
lead.
gonna have to talk about it.
Or lead, be like, when you're doing it, you'd be like, I know I'm ugly. You
Right.
like,
Well,
what's
you're
a
Papadakis.
That's the 8 Mile.
Eight
It's
Mile.
8 Mile.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm ugly.
But
if
like
that's
you
all
said,
you got.
once you initiate and fire the first shot, then people are going to go after your weaknesses,
Right.
no matter what they
Like,
are.
you're
whatever
the
they
perfect
Being ugly
example.
is a weakness.
Like, and you don't complain or say, but if we get in a fight, I'll be like, you're cross-eyed, you fuck.
Right. And I
That's
know it's coming, I'm
right.
prepared,
And me too.
but
Big
I'm
knows
gonna
all
have
that.
something
Hey,
ready.
Megan Greenwell, you're
if the Green-
disgusting. That's
if
just
the
a
Green
fact.
Monster, if the Green Monster is even going to try to be a formidable opponent, she has something ready for like I look like a dog.
Right.
And let's
And
be
she should drop it right now.
And let me say
and-
this: if I was going to attack Barstool Sports, I wouldn't have an Abby of like my eyes, just like
Yeah. That's what I
Like,
mean.
I'm
Change
coming
your
for
attitude.
you, man.
That's gotta be. You gotta hide your weaknesses. Get behind
right.
get behind your armor a little
Yeah.
bit. Change that avatar.
That's just everybody being honest.
Right.
That's just you got to be smarter than that.
And the fact that people will be like sexist, whatever. No, it's like she's not attractive.
honest.
If it was a fat dude, I'd be like, you're fat.
and
If
it's like
you're
it's a
cross-eyed.
close up of her face. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's not a great avatar.
No. So just be smart.
And not a great hit piece. Jeez.
It was useless.
That was like, you don't know how to do this. You know,
Totally.
we've all written about other websites and other people. You don't know how to do it.
That was
at
like
all.
we've been
because even your
fighting-
own company
We've
is
been
laughing
fighting
at you.
you like forever, and
Right.
you're gonna come in with that was like a day.
Oh,
long.
we
That was
have-
crazy. And then to even the sweater thing was so
So
great.
stupid.
Like trying to pick on that and then having Nardini just come over the top and be like, actually, it's this fucking like dope cashmere sweater that everybody went and bought. It's just like, yeah, like
That's
like,
well, again,
that's-
I don't want to
that's
say
the
Megan
perfect-
Greenwell lives in sweats.
Right.
She's
Right.
the type of person
Right.
who just has a closet full of
Like,
baggy
she
sweats.
didn't even know like that cashmere sweaters existed. That wasn't even a possibility. She was just talking about sweatshirts because that's all she has and wears.
This Ole Miss concert on a plane. So they're going to sing at some ritzy event. I forget where they were singing, but it's somewhere real. It was some a cappella event. And they're great singers. But you're on a plane. I don't know how this works. Like, if you do it for a minute, I think I'm okay with it. If you keep singing the whole flight, I don't care how good you are, that I think is a problem.
I don't think you can even do it for a minute, man. You
Without
really think so?
voices, yeah, if you're like a professional choir, yeah.
I was upset watching the video.
Yo, because you didn't like it.
No. I also like if
I'm
someone,
surprised you have any leeway on this.
If someone,
They're good. I could do it for a minute.
I'm not saying they're bad. I don't think you can be a great singer and it's not the time.
I tell you,
it's just the wrong spot. I mean, you're in a fucking tube of like, there's no escape. You're not giving anyone any option whatsoever. They have to listen to you sing. That'd be like bringing on. You might as well bring on like a fucking Bluetooth speaker and just play
I had a
it.
guy-
You
Imagine,
can't
yeah,
do
imagine
that.
if you were playing music out loud
I had
inside
a-
your headphones.
You
People
can't
go
do that.
bananas.
You can't do that.
I had a guy, I wrote this, or tweeted when it happened on the Excella train, he played guitar the entire time. Like softly.
And what did you think of that?
I didn't like it. I mean, he was showing off, but he played it soft enough where it was like, it didn't drive me nuts.
See, that's-
I have a much bigger problem playing with when anybody, the stewardess, the pilots, if they become a comedian, stand up,
Yeah.
that drives me crazy.
Especially when it stops your movie.
Yeah,
Interrupts your
you're
shit.
right,
It's like,
yeah.
just get through the announcements,
Yeah.
whatever you got to say.
The
let's
worst
go.
part about that is that most people on the plane eat it up.
I know.
Like they love it. They laugh. They like clap for them.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
crazy.
terrible.
And that just
Most people
reinforces,
suck,
it
like, in general.
reinforces the behavior.
Totally. And then they're like, they get all this confidence
Yeah.
and keep going. You're
Right.
like, no, like,
It's like, I didn't buy a
but that's
ticket
why
to you.
there's no doubt in my mind these guys kept going. Because they probably did get the claps and the applause and all that shit.
People
They
were pulling
probably
their
were doing
phones
all-
out to record. It's
I mean,
like-
did you see it? Everybody's phones are up.
I thought it was the people singing, though, holding the phones. So the Simpsons had a PC situation. So people are now, I guess, mad about Apu. I'm a big Simpsons fan. I mean, I've tailed off. It's been off for 100 years, but I probably watched the first 10 to 12 seasons religiously. Apu is Apu. He's the the quickie mart guy, caricature. Simpsons did not back down. They actually had Lisa deliver a little speech and then had a picture of Apu with "Don't have a cow, man." Love the Simpsons response. They basically like, something we've been doing for 20 years that was widely praised and everyone says it's great. Now suddenly it's bad because the culture changed. Basically a fuck you, so I love that.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
It's hard to say. Something that started decades ago and was applauded and inoffensive is now politically incorrect. What can you do?
Some things will be dealt with at a later date.
If at all.
I do. My first thought was like to relate it back to sports. Like it's the same idea with like logos and names and shit.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to kind of be on the Simpsons side here.
Oh, not everybody's on.
Well,
Simpsons.
I mean, I think normal people are,
Yeah.
right? Like the outrage brigade is all over them. But I think a lot of people are like, yeah, no, this makes sense. Something you were doing a long time ago is now different. But I think people are picking and choosing when they
yeah,
actually
I think they
apply
handle it
that.
like, I feel like how we handle everything, which is like, we don't care. Like, this
Yeah.
is what we've been doing. We've been very successful, made a ton of money. People love it. Like, why the fuck?
And you're gonna run into that when you have you're on season like 30.
Yeah.
And you've been making fun of everyone
happen.
forever.
That's
like,
the key point.
That's just,
Yeah.
that's what we do. We
Everybody's
make
been
fun of
catching it.
everyone.
Yeah,
We're
that's-
going to offend everyone.
And guess what? A lot of quickie marts are run by Apu type characters.
Stereotypes are usually
For a
true.
reason.
Yeah. So.
It's like,
That's everything. We got the Humboldt t-shirts on sale. I think we've sold gross about 150 grand. So like made probably 75, 80 off that. That'll be going. If you want to buy those shirts, do that. Obviously, that's a sad story. Not that it's doubly sad, but I'm sure you guys saw like at least one of the guys who was involved and died in the crash. He was a big stool. He had all our shit. He had the Shoot Shoot shirt. He had a Spit and Chicklets shirt. So that's, I mean, tragedy happens, and this is a sad story, but we have those shirts on sale if you want to buy them. Anything else that we got for this weekend? Obviously, it's Rough and Rowdy week, fight week. Thrill Ride. We got Bill Burr. It should be the best Rough and Rowdy yet. Is Thrill Ride versus the German. It's in Charlotte. There are, I think, a couple hundred tickets left for the event there, but that'll sell out again. So big week. Fight week's always an exciting week.
Bill Burr is great.
Yeah.
He's fucking huge star.
Yep.
He's
Huge
gonna
star.
be awesome.
Huge star. Could be a real fist fight for airtime with me.
I
Big
was
Cat,
going to say,
Bill
yeah.
Fist fight for airtime.
are you going
Grabbing
to
air.
defer at all?
Oh yeah, I defer.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I was
a
going to
great.
say, I think people are going to
You give a little respect level early and then kind of.
Yeah, Jason Kidd, DJ, one of the great assists. I'll be just handing the ball off.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do.
Right. That's
That's what you're known for sure.
That is what I am known
Facilitate.
for.
He's just a point guard out there.
Definitely. That's not going to be a problem with that at all.
Yep. Okay, that's the rundown.